Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port the day before our departure to pick up our pilgrim passports and make final preparations for our trip. We checked into a hostel and had a look around the town before getting an early night in anticipation of the difficult first day's hike across the Pyrenees mountains.
While you're here, under the sun, set them free. It's easy.
It's about 7:30. We've just got up after a short night's sleep. We're having a little coffee and we're about to head off up the hill. So it's about 9 o'clock. Been walking for about an hour and a half. It's pretty steep, and down here behind us you can see Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port and the Vallée de la Cise. How's the water?
The water is good. It's mountain water, but the walk is difficult.
Roncesvalles, 5 hours.
Tired, cold, hungry.
We did it! Woo! 6 hours.
Yeah,
Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port,
6. Yeah.
Roncesvalles. And here we
Not
are.
easy, not easy.
It was pretty hard. It rained, it was foggy,
Not easy, but reasonable.
and it was steep. Yeah,
6 hours and pretty stuck.
good challenge. And we have this amazing building.
Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, Roncesvalles, 27.1 kilometer, and this is what we did.
Good morning. We've just set off at a little before 7 and we're walking off from Roncesvalles. How many kilometers do we have to do today?
A little bit over 20, a little bit less than yesterday, and a little bit less hilly, just flat really.
So we're hoping that the weather's going to improve a little bit from yesterday. It was quite rainy. So end of day 2, a little bit less far than yesterday, but
Is it here?
yeah, we have to get stamps anyway, don't we? Here we are in La Rosoagna, where we've just arrived after a long trek. It seemed like it was almost as hard as yesterday, even though it was pretty much all downhill.
Roncesvalles, La Rosoagna, 25 kilometers. We went to Roncesvalles to Bourguette, up, down to Subiri, and then La Rosoagna. It took us 7 hours today. We left at 7, we arrived at 2 o'clock.
Probably because we were more tired from yesterday.
It wasn't easy, huh?
It's about 6:30. We've just left La Rosoagna, the hostel. Now we're heading off towards Pamplona. The moon is out and the sun is about to rise.
Tesor Menor,
This is where we're heading today.
20 kilometers.
20 kilometers. It's a bit less than the previous 2 days, which is good because I'm feeling pretty sore personally. Pamplona, 8.3 kilometers. So we've just learnt an important lesson. That's that the old guy who arrived before us yesterday evening, he walks all day and quite slowly, but he never stops. And it doesn't matter how fast we walk, he always seems to get there before us. Which is an interesting thing, because it's a bit like the tortoise and the hare. Every time we stop, he overtakes us, and then we set off again and we overtake him. Sure enough, when we get where we're going, he's already there. Old town of Pamplona. Lots of people in red and white. Old medieval fortifications. What do you think of Pamplona?
Crazy busy, messy, dirty, drunk people. It's a mess right now. It's terrible to go through.
We just walked through the biggest hangover of Pamplona. Sunday morning.
Famine.
People cleaning the streets.
It's
people in red and white everywhere.
It's a zoo back there. I want to go there.
So we're happy to be moving on. But
we did some shopping.
We did find a good supermarket.
Sunday, everything's
stock up
closed,
on
so.
some provisions. So we're doing good. Onwards we go. So here we are, Minor. See Pamplona down there behind me. We're here and we're going to have a bit of lunch and then we're going to head on up to Zarikegi, but they don't have many beds, and if we don't get a bed there, we're going to have to go over Alto de Perdón over to Ortega, which will be quite difficult. Here we are in, how do you say it?
Zarikegi. Totally knackered. We caned it today.
We pushed past the recommended stop, Minor, because we got there quite early and it was a little bit further than we expected and uphill in the heat. We got some beds, so that was great. A beautiful little village overlooking the plains, beautiful sunny day. And we also pushed it hard today because it's forecast for rain tomorrow, so we thought we'd make the best of the weather and go as far as we could. It was pretty sore this morning, so expecting pain tomorrow morning. Good morning.
Hello.
We've just left Zarikegi and we're heading off up to Alto Perdón. Feeling a bit better today, not too sore, but the path's pretty steep, so we're going to take it easy and see how we go.
Santiago de Compostela. 550 kilometers.
Puente de la Reina, 10.3k. That's where we're going, and maybe even some. We're arriving in Puente la Reina.
Puente la Reina, literally the Bridge of the Queen, is the first town after the junction of the French Way and the Aragonese Way. From here, all paths join into one.
We're pushing on a little bit, see how far we can get, because it's still quite early, probably about 10:30. So, see where we get to today. It's getting hot. Here we have some of the famous grapes of the Navara region.
.6 kilometers, so we can walk to Yolovka.
Just arrived in Lorca after 28 kilometers. We decided to stop here for the day. And so now we're just going to chill out in the albergue a bit and take care of our aches and pains. Good morning.
Oh.
It's about 6:30. We've just headed off from Lorca. Today we're heading to a place called Los Arcos. If we can make it that far, which hopefully we will.
31 kilometers away. It's gonna be warm, they said.
So I think it's going to be pretty hot. 34 degrees today maybe. So we better get the sun cream out. There's a signpost here which says Estrella Lizara, 7.5 kilometers. Just arrived in Estella.
good water. And wine, look at that, for free.
So here we are in Villa Maillard de Montjardin. What time would you say it is?
It rang once.
Once, yeah.
One already? You're a bit slow today.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of a problem with my knee. So that's slowing us down a little bit. I'll have some lunch and see how we feel afterwards. As to whether we can continue or not. So we've decided to push on. We're a little worried because it's quite late. Just arrived in this Arcos. Definitely the hardest stop so far. More than 30 kilometres. It's got to be more than 30 degrees, maybe 35. It's a tough one. Legs are killing me. Knees, ankles, sunburn. A lot. I hope it gets easier from here because it's pretty tough. That was a pretty tough one. We arrived about an hour ago, checked into the hostel. Now we're just recovering a bit. What do you think of that one, Amber?
Very, very hard. Very hard. Very tired. Cannot move anymore. I have to lie down and chill out.
And the hostel we're staying in is just over there.
Not very pretty, huh?
It's a big dormitory, but it does the job.
Hello. Hello.
6:30. Just left Los Arcos. It is the 16th of July,
Yes.
day 6. Easy day today, 20 Ks, sticking to the schedule, no funny business. So hopefully we'll be alright.
Yesterday was so hard.
We paid the price for the extra 10 Ks
We
yesterday.
went to bed we were the first sleeping at 9:30, 10.
We were snoring at 9:30.
We were sleeping at 9:30 until this morning. Completely naked.
But we had a good night's rest, so looking forward to today. No, I'd like a banana, please. We are in Viana. Pretty much over it for today. Even though it's only been 20 Ks, so we're gonna take it easy for the rest of the day and recover a bit for tomorrow. Morning, 6:30, heading off from Viana.
To Logroño.
Next stop, Logroño.
And then heading to Ventosa.
So see how we go. It's supposed to be 38 degrees today. So
It's already warm and it's only 6:30.
6:30 in the morning, it must be about 20 degrees already. This is Navarra. So, where are we?
Ventosa.
And we just walked how far?
Very far.
25 kilometers. That seemed easier today, so now we're going to see if we can get some beds. Heading off from Ventosa. Doing a small day today, only 16-17 kilometers to allow me to have my knee recuperate. Amber's a little bit frustrated because she'd like to do more, she'd like to go a bit faster, but I'd rather take it easy and recover properly in order to avoid slowing us down later on. They woke us up in the albergue by playing religious music, 6 AM, which we enjoyed a lot, didn't we?
No.
So, off we go. Not long now.
No, it's okay, we can do. Hello, it's the 19th of July, Saturday, and we are in Siruenia, going to Santo Domingo and afterwards Redesia.
It's a bit cooler today, some clouds making it much more bearable temperature. And we left early this morning, about 6 o'clock, so we're hoping to make 25-26 Ks, so we'll see how we go.
But we're feeling good today, right? We had a good rest day yesterday in Azofra, tumbleweed town, and that did us good.
My knee is feeling much better.
I'm feeling
great.
much better. Everything is going for the better, we hope.
So we're feeling good.
Let's keep on going.
On we go.
Look how beautiful.
So, just leaving Redesia del Camino. After having had a little bit of breakfast. Here is a typical Camino breakfast. Freshly pressed orange juice, cafe americano, and a croissant. And we're ready to hit the road. Redesia, being like many of the other Camino towns, centered along the main drag, which is the Camino, and built up around several other parallel streets to that, but all basically built around the Camino. So here we are in Villafranca, just done 23 Ks. Sun's finally coming out. So this, where we're staying, used to be an old pilgrim hospital, which has been done up and converted into a hotel, and there's a part which is an albergue for pilgrims. Morning. 21st of July. About 7 in the morning. We've just left from our beautiful pilgrim hospital and we're heading off. A small day today, about 16 Ks.
And then Burgos.
And then Burgos tomorrow.
Around 20k.
Feeling pretty good though.
Better and better, huh?
Nice little coffee. Seems like the most physical stage is
Now?
behind us. So should be able to enjoy the walking a bit more from now on. But we'll see how we get on. Alright, see you later. Just got to the top of this mountain here. We can see what we think looks like Burgos down there, which is about 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers away. And we're gonna stay in this little village down here, hopefully, which is Rio Pico, which you can see just down here.
Today we walked from Villafranca, we walked until Rio Pico, and in total that is about 24.5 kilometers. So we went uphill, which was pretty long and hard, and then we went to Atapuerca and we arrived in Rio Pico, where we have a beautiful lumber room. Tomorrow we are going to start from Rio Pico, pass by Burgos, 14.5 kilometers. And we're gonna walk from Burgos to Rabe de la Calzadas, and in total we will cover around, I think it will be 25, 10, 24, 5, 6, 26 kilometers tomorrow. And that's all.
Good morning, just leaving Cardenuela, Rio Pico. It's about 7 and we're gonna go past Burgos today.
Burgos Cathedral is built in the Gothic style and is famous for its vast size and unique architecture. Its construction began in 1221 and was in use as a church 9 years later, although work continued off and on until 1567. It was primarily built in the French Gothic style, although Renaissance style works were added in the 15th and 16th centuries. The cathedral was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO on October 31st, 1984.
Today we're heading towards Castrojeriz. And it's pretty windy and grey, but hopefully it's going to clear up.
The ruins of the St. Anton convent date back to the 15th century and were formerly the palace and garden of King Pedro I of Castile, before being converted into a monastery which was run by the Hospital Brothers of St. Anthony, who were dedicated to caring for the sick who came along the Camino de Santiago. The first mention of this castle dates from the 9th century, during the skirmishes with the Muslim forces who invaded the Iberian Peninsula. The Romans used this vantage point to protect the route to their gold mines near Astorga, but it was in the Middle Ages, with the coming of the Camino de Santiago, that Castrojeriz found its prosperity. During the 11th century it became a royal residence and was considered one of the main stopping points along the road to Santiago.
Morning. Here we are, just left Castro Jerez. Sun's about to come up in the background. We just climbed to the top of the first hill. Just wanted to allow you to admire the view. Here we have the Canal de Castille, which is a bit like Holland according to Amber.
Sure is.
So here we go.
So here we are, we've just left from Istat and we're heading to Carrión de los Condes today. About 20 kilometers. Here we are, just arriving in Carrión de los Condes. Morning.
Morning.
We're just leaving Carrión de los Condes,
Very nice.
which is supposedly the halfway point of the Camino. We have about 400 kilometers left apparently, and today, to start the second half of the Camino, we have a 17-kilometer walk through the desert where there is approximately not much going on, so see how that goes. Here we are in the desert. It's not really a desert, it's just a long flat bit. Good morning. Just leaving Dios del Templarios, which we're disappointed to find out has relatively little to do with the Knights Templar, but we found out all about them.
Few people have not heard of the Knights Templar, with their emblematic red and white tunics, legendary fighting skills, and impressive castles. Perhaps less well known is that Friday the 13th is considered to be unlucky because the Grand Master of the Knights was arrested and imprisoned on this day in October 1307. When one joined the Templars, one gave all of his wealth and land to the order, thus making it one of the richest organisations around. Because of this, the Templars set up an innovative financial system and are considered to be the founders of the modern-day bank. It was ironic, therefore, considering their vows of poverty, that their wealth ultimately led to their downfall. King Philip IV of France, who was greatly indebted to the Templars, imprisoned the Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, and others, who were eventually burnt at the stake. It is said that the remnants of the knights fled to Spain, where their services were welcomed by other orders to guard the road to Santiago.
We're heading between two villages which we don't know the names of. There's an approximate distance which we have no idea.
Today we did Albugo Ranero to Reliejos, which is 12 kilometers. We have 6 to go to Mansilla de las Mulas. And another 6 to Villarente de Puente, where we can decide to stop, which will make a total day of 24k. Or we're gonna make it big day and we stop in Arcahueras.
Just leaving Mansilla de las Mulas.
Towards mountains again.
We're heading off towards the mountains. Just arriving in Lyon after a short 8-kilometer walk from where we stayed last night. So we're gonna have a look around.
Fairly quiet.
Maybe grab a coffee and some breakfast. And then head on our way following the little yellow arrows. So we're about half an hour out of Lyon, back in the countryside. Feels nice not to be walking next to the cars and the highway.
You have the look of love.
That's the look of love, baby. Yesterday we tried to take a bit of a detour to avoid walking next to the road, which we were a bit tired of.
Not a good idea.
And but we got a bit lost and then had to cut through some parts which were not marked by arrows and ended up walking a bit further than we'd planned.
A few kilometers.
So that was quite hard. But we made it in the end. So from now on we'll stick to the little yellow arrows, I think. Anyway, today
Walking next to the road.
we're walking next to the road,
It's not very nice.
and for the beginning bit anyway, afterwards we should get off into the countryside, and we're heading to Astorga today.
The legend of El Paso Honoroso, or the Honorary Passage, was about a noble knight from Leon, Don Suero de Quiñones, who, scorned by a beautiful woman, threw down the gauntlet to any knight who dared to pass as he undertook to defend the bridge. Knights from all over Europe took the challenge, and Don Suero successfully defended the bridge until 300 lances had been broken. He then proceeded to Santiago to offer thanks for his freedom from the bonds of love and his honour now restored. The rest of the knights could now go back to their habitual task of defending pilgrims along the Camino.
Heading up into the mountains towards Cruz de Ferro, and so we should be able to make about 25 kilometers just before Cruz de Ferro today.
Fonsbadon.
Fonsbadon. Seems like there's a lot of people who've started doing the Camino in Lyon. Seems like all of a sudden there's way more people doing the Camino. So it's quite crowded. I can probably see about 5-10 people up ahead of me and lots of people behind. And yeah, had a little walk around Astorga yesterday, which is a beautiful old citadel dating back to pre-Roman times. So the cathedral and a palace I thought was designed by Gaudi, which is pretty interesting. Anyway, here we are back on the road, heading off up into the hills. So here we are in a Rabanal del Camino. Which is one of the last stops before heading off up into the mountains. And we're going to push off 6 kilometres further up to Fontebadon, because it's not the main stop, so there'll be a bit less people there, and hopefully it'll be a bit quieter. Getting steep. So how's that climb then, Amber?
Manageable.
We just have a little bit left to go tomorrow for Cruz de Ferro. So this time we're staying in a albergue parroquial, and there's no hot water, so be warned. Good morning. We are just leaving Fontebadon. It's about 6:30. We're hoping to get a sunrise up at Cruz de Ferro, but it looks like it's kind of cloudy this morning, as you can see. So, not sure if we're going to be able to see much. But anyway, we're heading off.
Cruz de Ferro is an ancient monument dating back to Celtic times. Legend says that when the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela was being built, pilgrims were asked to contribute by bringing a stone. The tradition is to throw a stone here brought from the place of origin, symbolising what the pilgrim wants to leave behind and get ready for the rebirth of the last part of the Camino.
Coming up to Ponferrada. Nearly there. Less than 8 k's to go. Wow, look at those mountains in the background.
Yeah, we have to cross those.
Ponferrada is the last major town on the French route of the Camino de Santiago. It is noted for its Templar castle, which was donated to the order by the city in the late 13th century for the purpose of protecting pilgrims. However, the Templars were only able to use the fortress for about 20 years before the order was disbanded and its properties confiscated in 1311.
Hola, buenos dias.
Hola.
Just leaving Ponferrada and heading off. Flat day today.
And I think we have done around 15k already. Could that be true? 3 hours?
Yep.
starting to rain a bit. It's a bit grey, but it's nice and refreshing. It's quite warm. I'm having a bit of a hard time today. I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, I'm a bit tired. And you?
I'm doing okay. So far so good.
Maybe it goes better this afternoon. Anyway. Morning.
It's about 6:30 and we're just leaving
Berege.
Perege
It's cold.
and we're heading off to climb the last big mountain.
It's getting pretty steep.
Camino, about 1,200 meters. We've got about a 700 meter climb, and then after we go down that it'll be pretty much flat all the way to Santiago. We've worked out that we have about 7 days left of hiking. How are we finding it then?
Oh, easy, as you can see. Hard work, dripping sweat.
It's pretty steep, but it's not as bad as
Mount Agun.
Pyrenees yet. Yes.
Oh man.
Hola, buenos días.
Buen Camino.
Buen Camino. So we're in Hospital, which is quite a small town. It's about 4 o'clock, and we've just seen a bunch of pilgrims who we've met before, who've had to head on to the next town because all the albergues here are full. And when we went to the local bar, we saw a couple of people jumping in a taxi, heading to the next village because there were no more beds. And I've just seen some people who are
40 or more kilometers.
who are setting themselves up in the bell tower of the church here, and are going to sleep there overnight in what can only be described as extremely basic
Hardcore.
conditions. Yeah. It's about 6:30. Just leaving Hospital. Another few kilometers to go to Samos, which is apparently an old monastery. Samos. Here is the monastery of Samos, where hopefully we'll be getting beds very shortly. So we've just left Samos about half an hour ago and heading off to Sarria, it's the next town, and we're having a bit of a tough time this morning.
Back pain, neck
Tiredness is catching up with us a bit,
not enjoying it very much.
and we've been seeing signs for taxis everywhere, hung sneakily on the trees along the path, adverts for backpack transport to the next town,
And you
which
start to think,
we've always sworn that we'd never even consider, but our resolve is beginning to crack. So watch this space. Will we make it to the next town, or will we get a taxi? We shall see. So here we have the dirty little secret of the Camino de Santiago. That truck is going off carrying people's backpacks to the next hostel.
fed up with it. Too many people.
How does it feel now? We only have 99 k's left.
Better, and I'm gonna make it. Well,
Good,
it's
because we
very
weren't so
busy.
sure yesterday, were we?
I know, I was having an depression. It's better now, I feel better, but maybe later I'll just die. I don't know, I'm just going. And today we're gonna go to Legende, I think. And that's about 25 kilometers away. We feel much better, don't we, Pesco? We drank one entire bottle of red wine yesterday and had a good dinner and a good night's rest, but it was very noisy because people snored. It was like a concert.
We had a fanfare of snoring.
Left, right, side, up, above, underneath. Everyone was snoring. Amongst other things they do when they're snoring. So I'm counting down the days.
So roughly 96 kilometers left to go to Santiago. So that should be 3 days probably.
And it's a good date because we left on the 10th and we started on the 11th, and now we're gonna arrive on the 10th of August, 1 month later, and we're gonna leave by train on the 11th back home.
So it would have taken us exactly 30 days to do it.
Everything included, transport.
So we're quite pleased with
So
that.
we're okay with that. Normally it's 29 days we did it, but it's good, 30. It's a round number. We're happy. We don't want to go to Finisterre. We're tired. We need to catch up with work. So we're gonna go home, but satisfied, and we feel good with our decision. And I'm not sure if we'll ever do it again.
Once is enough for now, but time will
think.
tell, eh?
Yeah, it's very physical. But anyway, that was it really.
Alright, on we go then.
Bye.
So, heading off from
Legende
Legende
to Melide,
to Melide, and it's
25k.
we're raining a bit today. So we've got the ponchos out, but not raining too hard. Because it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, there's nobody else here, so we've got the place to ourselves. Cheers. Just leaving from Melide. It's about 5:30. We left a little bit earlier. We get a bit of a head start on the crowds of pilgrims. Seems like it's been raining, but it's not raining now, so that's good. And we're gonna try and make about 30k today to get a little bit closer to Santiago. Okay, well, we're nearly arriving at our penultimate destination, which is a place called Saint Irene, and it's 23 kilometers from Santiago. So plan is to stop there tonight if we can find a bed, because there's quite a lot of people now. It's quite quiet when we started at 5:30, but now it's getting busier. Anyway, so tomorrow is the last day, and it's finally hitting us that it's coming to an end. And we thought it would get easier at the end, but to be honest with you, it's been pretty much a struggle right down to the last bit. Last day, 23 kilometers left to go.
I'm happy it's over.
It's been a long trip. So we're about 10k out of Santiago.
10 still?
Something like that. And there's throngs of people.
Annoying people that walk in front of you without looking.
Throngs of people heading to Santiago. Very busy. And thankfully it's just stopped raining, so pretty happy about that. How does it feel to be walking into Santiago?
Well, it feels good, but I'm quite over it. What time is it? I'd like to know.
Time we arrived.
So, after 29 days and 780 kilometers of walking, we were finally about to reach our goal. So many different thoughts and emotions rising to the surface. Some say the Camino is more about the journey than the destination, whilst others proclaim that the real journey only starts after reaching Santiago.
I'm feeling this is it, babe. How does that feel?
I want to take off my backpack and never put it on again. Oh, it's nice. It's in construction.
Shame about the scaffolding. Tell you what, we're a pile of stones right there after I walked 800k.
For my part, on arriving in the square of the Cathedral of Santiago, I was close to tears. Not from physical pain, because your body mostly adapts to the effort of walking long distances every day, but simply from the immense feeling of release from having accomplished this big challenge we had set ourselves. A challenge that we had overcome together, despite all the highs and lows we had gone through along the way.
Let's go get a hotel. Hotel?
Yeah.
Parador. That's what I said. Let's take the Parador.
Go and have a look.
Really?
Should we see if they have space? So we showered up, now we're going to go to the Mass in the cathedral.
When you set off on the Camino, you know the distance to your destination, but that's just a number, and it isn't until after a while that you realise how far that actually is to walk. At that moment, it seems almost impossible, but by then, you have no choice but to continue. But if you don't give up, and you do finally arrive, you suddenly see that what seemed completely impossible at the start wasn't necessarily so at the end, and that by consequence, almost anything seems achievable. It was this simple realization that filled me with hope for the future, and was what I found most valuable about the whole experience. So if you're thinking of heading off on a long journey of your own, but aren't quite sure if you can make it, just remember, all you have to do is take the first step.